beautiful weather. Fall might be my favorite season. It's definitely one of my favorite seasons. It's one of my top 4 favorite seasons, probably. All right, hello and welcome to my first MotoVlog. This motorcycle right here is hopefully going to be the motorcycle that I ride all the way to Alaska, at least Seattle, but hopefully all the way to Alaska. It is a Suzuki V-Strom 650. I think it has about 8,000 miles on it. It has, actually, yeah, I think it has about 8,000 miles on it. I got it a while ago. Hey, there's another motorcycle. I got it a while ago from this guy. It's been a great bike. This is my first motorcycle, so I just learned how to ride like 2 months ago. I'm learning how to ride so that I can ride to Seattle or possibly Alaska. But it's really fun. And it's also been a great beginner bike. Like a lot of people talk about learning on a 250, which probably, I mean, would have worked. Could have worked, but, and maybe is better for some people. I'm also 6'4" and 225 pounds, so I'm a little bit of a bigger guy. But I feel like the 650 was a great bike for me to learn on. So we'll go for a little bit of a ride here. Give you some background. So right now I'm in Maryland. I'm actually originally from Maryland. The last year I actually spent living on a road in a van that I bought. Sold the van in Alaska, or not in Alaska, sold the van in Seattle and flew back to Maryland. And at that point I knew that I was gonna buy a motorcycle and then I wanted to ride the motorcycle across the country. But I have kind of like a 3-part adventure that I want to do hopefully in 2018. So the plan for 2018 hopefully is that in the spring or like early mid-spring I'm gonna leave here on the motorcycle. I'll ride to the West Coast or again hopefully Alaska. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sell the motorcycle and buy a bicycle and then bike from Seattle, Washington to Portland, Maine. Not Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine. And then after that, I'm gonna sell the bicycle and hopefully move to Atlanta. And somebody there is gonna help me build a tiny house, like one of the miniature houses that people build on trailers. And that will be my house for the foreseeable future. Obviously, that's a lot of ifs. That's the plan. So the only thing now, so that's the plan. The thing now is that I need to save up the money to do that. Look at all these trees. These trees are beautiful. This is why I wanted to get out here. It's been fall and I've been trying to go for a ride with these leaves, but it just hasn't happened. And it's taken forever for me to get this camera working. It's the GoPro Hero 5. You have to have an adapter, and then you have to have another adapter, and then you can connect it to your microphone. It took me a long time to figure that out. But it took me so long, I was afraid that all the cool leaves were going to be gone before I was able to shoot the first vlog. It's really nice to be out here on the bike again too, because I've been totally sick for the last like month. For my job, it's not a full-time job, it's like a contracted job, but I do international disaster relief, and so like I can get deployed overseas. And so I was just in the Caribbean, but when I was in the Caribbean, I had like an hour to leave. They called me and they were like, hey, can you go down here? Yes, I'm going. And so I had an hour to pack and be at the airport before my flight left. And so I just started throwing stuff in a bag, and I ended up only bringing 1 pair of shoes. And so when I was down there, you work 12-ish hours a day. You just have some really long days. And at the end of the day, it's hard work, so your feet stink. You need to take your shoes off. So I was walking around with no shoes on and ended up stepping on some type of metal debris. I mean, there was debris everywhere. It was impossible not to step on, but stepped on something, got a cut, and then that cut turned into a staph infection, which got pretty bad. And so they sent me home. Like it took almost a month for the staph infection to go away. It was like 35 days of antibiotics. I did over, I think, 4 courses of antibiotics, like going to the doctor, and they were like, oh yeah, you need more, you need more, you need more. And Halloween, which is like 3 or 4 days ago, I went back to the doctor, and that was finally when they were like, the doctor was like, yeah, your foot kind of still looks infected, but it might just be inflammation, and you've been taking antibiotics so long, like there should not be anything like it left in your system at all. And so just stop taking antibiotics and watch it. And whatever I was taking just made me feel awful. Like there was days where I just laid on the floor for like 9 hours and then went, like rolled back to the bed and got back in bed because I just felt awful. And so I'm very, very glad to be off of the antibiotics and able to kind of move around and do stuff again. So this video is kind of going out like from Gaithersburg into the country. Next video, I think I'll probably go the opposite way and go into DC and maybe go on a little bit of tour of the monuments. I've actually never really gone down, I've never driven down to the monuments. If you live in this area and you go down there, you generally take the metro. So that's, I mean, ever since I was little, like if I went down to DC, you just take the train down. But I'd also hate driving down there because if you drive down there, then you're generally going to get stuck in traffic, which will probably still happen on a motorcycle. But I think it'd be fun to go down there on the motorcycle and do a little bit of a monuments tour. And so if you come back, whenever I put up the next video, get to see the monuments. Ooh.